Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot. If you watch my most recent video, then you know this deck. You've seen it. You've probably seen it everywhere on the socials because it is the newest mass market deck out there. It's created from an indie deck that I've learned that it was actually an indie deck in one of my comments. And it's incredible. It's absolutely one of the coolest decks that I've ever seen. The symbolism and everything in it is absolutely spectacular. The guidebook is well worth everything as well. Like if you're going to get this deck, even if you're a seasoned reader and you're professional and you've been doing it forever, you can learn so much from this guidebook. That's why I wanted today to do a reading with this deck and not just share my own opinions about the cards, which we're going to do rather quickly. I'm not going to be as specific as I usually am because I want to be able to share the guidebook with you as well. I want to see the symbolism and everything that comes with this deck, that shares within this deck. So I've already shuffled the deck, so you don't have to watch me do that. And I'm going to mix them around a little bit more to get the energy in. You know, your energy, my energy, the world and humanity's energy. That's what my readings are about. To empower and inspire you to go after your dreams, to follow your passions, to do what you love. So we're going to see what this deck wants to share with us. You know, this is its first time on screen for me personally. I did a reading with it on my socials, Instagram and Facebook, just the other day if you're watching this as soon as it comes out. So you can check that out. The links to both of those will be in my description below so that you can follow those, you can like those, you can, be inspired by the readings that I do each and every day of the week. So that's a little bit enough of the little, my personal way of shuffling when it's not the 1, 2, 3, like different piles. Yeah, this is why when I do readings face to face, I'm always like, here's the deck, shuffle it to the best of your ability. And you have no idea how many people look at me and say I can't shuffle. That's why, to the best of your ability, like this. Mix them around, move them around. It's just about getting your energy in there. Okay, I'm going to make the little piles like such. Mix them up again and fan them out and pick 3 of them. So there we are. There's one up here. See that sun? That sun is like, pick me. This one's kind of hiding. See how that one's kind of hiding? So, we're going to take it out. We're going to see what it shares. And then, this one is the one I'm going to pull because it's the one that's like front and center, right? There we go. Pull the cards back up, flip it over so you see the bottom of the deck. I always like to see that as overall energy, or at the very least something we might not have had before. And there's that Page of Cups, the fish and everything, saying, embrace that inner child, have fun, enjoy all that life has to offer. Where I am right now, it's like 85 degrees Fahrenheit and completely beautiful and sunny. The wind is blowing. It's a perfect day to go outside, get a kite out, let it fly, and have fun with that inner child. Okay, I'm not doing the present future advice reading. It's just the message that the 3 cards want to share. We have the King of Pentacles, hard work, success, Taurus energy. The 3 of Cups, celebrating a successful harvest, celebrating having fun with our friends and all that good stuff. And the Wheel of Fortune. Once you found that success and wealth of the King of Pentacles, once you've appreciated and cut all that wealth from the fruits of your labor, then you absolutely can celebrate. You can begin creating something else, doing something new, and spinning that wheel and beginning the next chapter, learning from those experiences of the past. Seriously, look at this deck. This deck is absolutely gorgeous. The colors and everything, the orange there, embrace that enthusiasm, have fun, do things that you love to do, embrace that inner child. Even that fish is coming from the ocean, that ocean of emotion. When you come up, when you rise up for air, then you have that ability to take that passion, take that emotional thing that just fills your heart and makes your heart sing and begin it. Beginnings kind of relate to that Wheel of Fortune too, because 10, that's 1 in the Magician and the Fool. Taking those ideas and running with them, spinning the wheel, beginning the next chapter of your story. Do it with friends, have fun, celebrate the things that you really love and enjoy, and you're going to find success with it. You found success before, you can find success again. The orange in the background here very much orange and yellow together. So it's like it combines this card and this card to create this card. And that yellow there, that's creativity, that's the sun, that's enjoying all the things that life has to offer. So yes, I said that's my little spit out of what this means. And now we're going to see, I'm going to find each one of those cards in the guidebook so I can share with you what those mean so that get the best out of this deck to see why you want the guidebook and you want this deck. As with most tarot decks and the guidebooks for that matter, it's this way in this one too. The King of Pentacles usually comes up at the end. You know, even in this book, you see how much is left? It's just the index. So the King of Pentacles is that last card that you see in the deck. All of those things that you worked hard for, all the things that you followed your heart, all the things that you love to do and you enjoyed to do, and you followed that passion and everything. It's going to lead you to that success. I feel like that's why he's always at the end of the sequence. He's always at the end of the deck when you first get that deck, because it's all that hard work and effort that went into getting what you like, what you want to achieve, and finding that success. So here, move the tablecloth a little bit. Sorry about that. Here is what the guidebook shares about the King of Pentacles. First, we have the key words: prosperity, security, ambition, paternal, hardworking, grounded, critical, harsh, stinginess, and materialism. So there's good and bad both there. So upright and reversed, and they can have that energy on either side. Astrological, it's Aries and Taurus. So that reminds us, and I don't know if this is something like you've seen my videos about the astrology signs. So that's absolutely true. It's connected to both Aries and Taurus, because the court cards connect to the last decan of the one sign and the first two decans of the next sign. So while we think of the King of Pentacles as the Taurus energy, that's just the first two decans of Taurus. And then so it's the last decan of Aries too. So we're starting with March 21st to even April 20th or 21st, or even further than that. April 10th to May 10th. That's the energy of the King of Pentacles. Sometimes when I get put on, like, when I try to do things quickly, I kind of get them mixed up. But yes, April 10th or April 11th about May 11th. So that third decan of Taurus is going to be more of the Gemini energy of the Knight of Swords. Moving forward, the associations, like I said, is the astrological are Aries, Taurus. The planetary is none. That's different cards. And the element is earth and air. So we have the symbols, the armor, and you see that armor right there on the card. And it says protection, shield, strength, self-preservation, preparation, truth, chivalry, and honor. And then they even, like, she goes on and has a description of what she sees this card to mean. So even if you don't know anything about the tarot, then you can take her messages and kind of use that to make up your own, to come and trust your intuition more. And what she writes here is, I find it really interesting that in the RWS, that's Rider-Waite-Smith, tarot, the King of Pentacles is the only king of the four shown wearing armor. It can be argued that on a material level, the King of Pentacles has the most to lose. In addition to the financial wealth he has accumulated, his connection to the earth suggests he also has land he needs to protect. There may not be an imminent threat to his domain, but he is prepared to stand his ground in case one arises. One of the greatest skills of the King of Pentacles is self-preservation. He understands the energetic flow of money. That part of protecting his assets has him making wise spending choices. In financial matters, having some money in savings can be considered financial armor against economic downturns. And then there's the bull. The bull right there, right there, is always like on the tarot, like on the King of Pentacles in the tarot. The bull is what's the astrological symbol for Taurus, so it makes a lot of sense. And here's what she writes about the bull. Conviction, determination, virility, fertility, sexuality, strength, peacefulness, and earthly pleasures. It says, on the most basic level, the bull represents the king's embodiment of the astrological sign of Taurus. Those born under the sign of Taurus are typically best summed up by the motto, work hard, play hard. They are driven, stable, and hardworking by nature, but as an earth sign that's also ruled by Venus, Taurians are known to enjoy the earthly pleasures and all things luxurious and cozy. Bulls are linked to the Greek goddess Dionysus, who is known to sometimes take the form of a bull. As the bull on this card is also paired with the symbol of grapes. You see there and there with the symbol of grapes. Where was I? The association to Dionysus is quite strong. The King of Pentacles, like Dionysus, enjoys all manner of sensual and physical pleasures that life has to offer. The expression seeing red, meaning to become quickly enraged, stems from the practice of waving a red cape in bullfighting in order to make the bull angry and get it to charge. I'll spare you my personal thoughts on this inhumane practice, but did you know that this is a myth? Yeah, she can share that message with me all the time. I completely agree with that. You know, inhumane, just cruel to the bull, really. Bulls actually lack the cone cells necessary to see the color red. There's something I didn't know, and you've learned it as well too if you didn't know that. The colors that they see are primarily greens and blues, the very colors of the earth itself, creating another symbolic link between the bull and the king's elements of earth. The idea that they are quite peaceful creatures who have only become aggressive when the need to defend themselves or their territory arises. The powerful King of Pentacles has a similar gentler nature, but is not afraid to defend his land, assets, or family as needed. You might notice I didn't include the word stubbornness in the key words. My husband can definitely appreciate that. Bulls absolutely represent a stubborn nature when they don't want to do something. They just don't. And it's no easy task to move a 1,500-pound creature who doesn't feel like moving. But stubbornness has such a negative ring to it. I much prefer the word conviction. The King of Pentacles encourages you to embrace a sense of conviction and stand fast to your unwillingness to change your beliefs. You can even be peaceful while doing it. Okay, next we have the castle. The castle is right there. And where is the castle? Right there on the card. Aspirations, attainment, future reward, wealth, nobility, power, personal domain, defenses, and protection. The King of Pentacles is the master of the material realm. Thus, the castle is part of his domain. The saying, money is power, is beautifully illustrated by this castle. But the wise King of Pentacles understands the power doesn't lie simply in the number of coins, but rather the respecting the natural flow of money. As the saying goes, they don't just make them like they used to. It can easily be argued that modern building methods fall dramatically short of the impressive feats of constructions of many old castles. Case in point, the oldest still standing castle in the world, located in northern Syria in the city of Aleppo, dates to approximately 3000 BCE. Think about that for a minute. That's 100 generations of human civilization that have come and gone like so much dust, while this fortress has remained steadfastly standing. The King of Pentacles and the symbolic castle encourage us to build lasting structure and stability. It can also be seen as a nudge to ponder what we are creating in this lifetime that we will leave behind, or our personal legacy. Seriously, I think there's so much in this book. I cannot recommend the book enough with this, because all of that information, you're learning stuff as well as being empowered and inspired by it. You know, put that armor on, be steadfast of what you want, be convicted to get what you want, follow that passion. The red right there is the passion and everything, and make something that's going to stand the test of time. Okay, from the castle we go to the crown, and inside the castle is the crown, right? Here's what it says: the elevation, mastery, power, royalty, sovereignty, authority, intellect, and divinity. The king's crown is adorned with flowers, linking him once again with the lushness of the earth element. As crowns are also naturally associated with the crown chakra, the flowers on the crown represent his blooming and open spiritual nature. He is simultaneously grounded and connected to the heavens. The flowers also indicate a gentle touch to his nature. And you see that crown right there with the flowers and everything on it. Next up, we have the actual flowers. We have flowers there, flowers there, flowers there, and flowers there. And I love the nod to the red, that passion and everything to go after what you want. Hope, new growth, happiness, beauty, unfolding, renewal, cycles, and love. The flowers of the King of Pentacles reinforce his mastery over the earthly realm and symbolize his ability to bring growth and prosperity to any situation. They represent the sweet smell of success we all have the potential to experience, particularly when we learn to manage our finances in the keen way this king does. Next up, we have the grapes, which are right there. And the grapes say abundance, prosperity, good health, and blessings. One juicy nugget of grape wisdom comes from Aesop's fable of the fox and the grapes. A fox spies a delectable bunch of grapes hanging from a vine one day. He makes several attempts to leap for the grapes, but comes up short. Instead of persevering, he scornfully proclaims, "Here I am wearing myself out to get a bunch of sour grapes that are not worth grasping for." This is where we get the expression, sour grapes. We all know people like this, the haters who attempt to belittle that which is beyond their reach. When you ascend to the level of mastery and success of the King of Pentacles, it's not uncommon for haters to come out of the woodwork. The grapes suggest there may be sour grapes energy in your midst. As long as it's not coming for you, carry on, ignore the haters, and enjoy the fruits of your success. Be you. Be true to you. Focus on what you want and don't give up just because someone else tells you that you can't do it. Next up, we have the Pentacle. The Pentacle is right there, front and center. And it says elements of earth, physical or material realm, money and material possessions. 5 elements. You've got the different, it's earth, water, earth, water, air, a fire, and then, you know, yourself. Like that spirit energy. And then we have harmony, protection, nature, feminine principle. And we go right next to the scepter right here, and it says power, royalty, masculinity, authority. The king's scepter indicates his mastery over the material realm. The orb adorning the top of the scepter mimics the shape of the earth itself, and it really does there. It represents, and it could be all the planets too, because it's round. Representing this king's deep connection to the elements of earth. Focus, dedication, that's how you achieve that King of Pentacles status. And here's the quick takes. The quick takes is down here, and it even has the reverse part right here. The Midas touch, money management skills on point, a loving father figure, a family provider, successful business ventures, particularly in eco-friendly business models, high-level banking or finance careers, the final stage of a successful project, conservation activism, taking a methodical approach to a situation, a need for discipline and structure. And I'll even go ahead and read the reverse, even though the reverse is nowhere here. It says an overly critical employer or father figure using money to manipulate, putting money above all else, and extreme overspending. Yes, I can definitely relate to that last one. You know, spending money on things I don't necessarily need, you know, because we want them. We enjoy them. Those fruits of our labor and those comforts that we get from that stuff. That's what this King of Pentacles is all about. So appreciate that in your life. Appreciate what you have. Moving forward to the 3 of Cups. You got to find the cups in this deck. They're kind of always towards the front when you get that first deck. So there it is in the book. And it says keywords are celebration, friendship, community, joy, antisocial, gossip, and overindulgence. So it goes from that upright and it goes right to that reversed. Astrological is Cancer. It's technically the second decan of Cancer. So we're looking at July 1st to July 10th in America. You know, that's when the 4th of July is. That's when summer's alive. So we have that energy of so much to celebrate and enjoy. Planetary is Mercury. You know, communicate with your friends. Utilize the technology to connect with people all over the world. And the elements is water. Symbols, elements of water, emotions, intuition, receptivity, and feminine principle. So we have 2 kind of feminine energies here. Have more compassion, be kind, you know, think things through. Floral wreath is the first thing we'll talk about right here. And it's a celebration, festivity, victory. The floral wreath is closely linked to the ancient Roman celebration known as Floria. Floria, it was a springtime festival held in the honor of the Roman goddess of flowers, Flora, at which festival goers would wear wreaths made of flowers in their hair and party hard for 6 straight days. Floria was known to be quite the pleasure fest and included lewd performances by party goers who would shed their clothes when the mood struck them. Well, that sounds kind of entertaining, doesn't it? Grapes are the next thing we'll talk about. Where are the grapes? There they are, and they're green instead of red, but the grapes continue on both cards there, don't they? Abundance, good health, overindulgence, revelry, celebration, blessing, sweetness of life. Now, I'm curious to see now, we're going to find out if it says the same thing, because this one talked about those sour grapes, right? But they're different colors, so they might be not sour grapes. And it says the grapes here are indicative of the celebration represented by this card. One might literally include sharing a bit of wine with friends, but as grapes can also signify overindulgence, be careful that you don't end up in your cups. Grapes are also synonymous with Dionysus, god of grapes and wine. With both Flora and Dionysus symbolically in the mix, this celebration is bound to be a rager. Well, that's really interesting now, isn't it? Because Dionysus was mentioned with the King of Pentacles. The 3 of Cups is the Dionysus energy too, along with Flora. So it's like we have all that comfortability. We have all the things we need to be happy and filled with joy. So it's time to enjoy it. Maybe not for 6 days straight. Maybe not that we lose ourselves and start taking off our clothes when people don't really want to see that. But have fun. Celebrate with friends and everything. And, you know, share that wealth. Share that friendship. Enjoy life. Okay, we're moving on. Oranges. Oranges are definitely delicious. Think about oranges and grapes. Like, yes, yes. Like the food. You don't even think about that with the tarot very often, but it's like enjoy those fruits that come from nature. Okay, oranges are fruitfulness, sweetness, health, joy, success, bitterness. As with the other fruits and vegetables on this card, the oranges add to the sense of celebration. The vibrant color of this juicy gem also links to the sacral chakra and our energetic pleasure center. The orange acidic nature can make it occasionally taste bitter or sour. If this card appears reversed, which it didn't, the orange may point to the friendships or group dynamics that have soured. Ask yourself, what can be done to bring back the sweetness? So we talked about, like, even here with the sour grapes. So the oranges might go sour too. Those friendships might go sour. So it's time to feel grounded and focused and perhaps, connect with them more, have fun, connect with their energy and celebrate with them. Okay, the pumpkin is next. The pumpkin's front and center right there. And it says harvest, nourishment, abundance, and strength. All of the fruit and vegetables that appear on this card can add to the energy of celebration, as sharing food is a common component of gatherings and celebrations. Pumpkins are also particularly symbolic of the harvest. A great deal of hard work may have led to this moment of joyful celebration. Pumpkins are incredibly nourishing, just as our friendships can be a source of emotional nourishment. Pumpkins grow in small groups along vines, symbolizing the abundance and joy that can be found in close connections. Triple goddess symbol right there in the wreath, and we've already talked about the floral wreath, so we're talking about the center of it now. Is this phases, cycles, divine, feminine, and magic. The three women portrayed on the Rider-Waite-Smith Three of Cups card allude to the three aspects of womanhood embodied in this symbol: the maiden, the mother, and the crone. The presence of the pumpkin, oranges, and grapes, in addition to this symbol association with Demeter, goddess of the harvest, imparts the symbolic message that we are nourished by our friendships and that there is abundant joy to be found in our time spent with friends. There is a deeper dive into the triple goddess symbol found on the High Priestess's page. If the High Priestess came up, I'd share it with you, but we're getting through this deck, we're doing this reading, and it's so empowering. Appreciate where you are, appreciate what you've worked hard for. Then celebrate with your friends. The more you celebrate with each other, the more you enjoy, the more you can create moving forward. Turn the page. We've got the quick takes left there, right there, and the reversed. And it says time to celebrate. Get together with friends, vacation with friends, have a night out with friends. Let your hair down, let the good times roll. Indicates party planning, reunion with a long lost friend or lover, finding your tribe, new creative ideas, collaboration on a creative project, harmony in body, mind, and spirit. Card was flipped over, it would mean out of sync with friends, alone time, a canceled party, overindulging in alcohol or other substances, partying too hard, or a third wheel in a relationship, or even gossip. Not reversed. It's upright. We have so much positivity here. And I'm positive we're going to move right to the Wheel of Fortune now, because that is the next card in this spread, this reading that we've done, letting this deck share whatever it wants to us. And it's at the time of making this video, it's very, very much the energy of the season right now, because it's very, actually today, if you're watching this when it first comes out, it's officially Taurus season. But it's been Taurus season since that third decan of Aries. So we've been in Taurus season for about a week now. And that King of Pentacles is strong. If you live, I don't know how things are in the southern hemisphere, but I assume you have this issue too. Grass grows so quickly this time of year. You go out there, you mow it 1 week, you literally have to go the next week because it just keeps growing. So that's very much like nature, and it's so much celebrated. Enjoy nature right now. Have fun. Embrace that inner child too. We will get to that after we get to the Wheel of Fortune. This is the major arcana card, so it's big Trump energy. So there probably is more shared. So bear with me. Keywords is change, cycles, karma, destiny, good fortunes, turning point, resistance to change, bad luck, misfortune, delays. Astrological, none, it says, because it doesn't. It's not connected to any zodiac sign, but the planetary here is Jupiter, which could technically say that the astrological connection would be Sagittarius, because that is the sign that Jupiter rules over. But it's not technically that. It's Jupiter. Good luck, fortune, expansion, knowledge, that kind of thing. Element is fire. The book book right there, we're getting right to the symbols there, is knowledge, wisdom, divine messages. As with all things in the tarot, there are a variety of theories as to what the book on this card represents. One says it's the book of life or the book of remembrance found in the Bible. The book of life is a record of names who have been redeemed and are heaven bound. The book of remembrance is a record of the good deeds enacted by each person in their lifetime. There is also a theory that it may be the Torah itself, which holds a plenitude of wisdom. Yet another theory I found is that it may represent the Akashic records. The Akashic records are a whole other level and very much worth exploring, but to give a quick, overly simplistic description, they are essentially a cosmic record of what will happen, is happening, or has ever happened. Regardless of what interpretation you prefer, the book can undoubtedly be seen to hold the secret wisdom from the divine. Talk about something I've always been interested in. I so want to learn the Akashic records. The issue is, like, you can find it. Oh, it's not the issue. It's the issue personally for me. By taking time to meditate, really turn off all the distractions and everything, and be able to tune within and shut off all the like voices in your head, all those thoughts in your head. And that's the issue for me. I can't seem to do that. So maybe if I can push past that, actually meditate, then I can connect with the Akashic records. If that's something you struggle with too, shutting the voices up in your head that want to tell you, you know, you don't have time to do this. You have to be doing something else. You know, this is stupid and things like that. If you have those voices too, then, you know, maybe calm, collected, and taking the patience and time to like deal with that can help you connect with the Akashic records too. Clouds are right there and right there and right there. Interesting. There's 3. Clouds are elements of air, thoughts, constancy of change, silver linings, dreams, and divinity. The symbolic energy of the clouds on the Wheel of Fortune card is best summed up by this quote by Paulo Coelho. Don't forget, beautiful sunsets need cloudy skies. With the ups and downs indicated by this card, the cloud is an important reminder that to truly appreciate the beautiful moments, we must also experience the more difficult ones. All the things we had to do to work hard to get this. All the times that we celebrated with friends that maybe, you know, had those communications going, or we got distracted and didn't really learn anything or create anything new. Those are still experiences, you know. The clouds can move to the sun and find our days in the sun. Set is, I'm not sure what the chaos, disorder, storms, and warfare. So I'm not, oh, that's the Set, isn't it? Yes, the creature from the Egyptians. It says the phallic-nosed creature in the bottom left corner, see, she knew. When she wrote this book, she knew some of us wouldn't know what Set was, is the subject of much debate in the tarot community. Some say it is the Egyptian god Anubis. Others say it is the god Set, or Seth. In the first edition of this deck, I portrayed him as Anubis, but a good friend pointed out that it is likely Set, and I honestly think that is much more fitting. I would love to see that original indie deck, just to see the difference. Set and Anubis are intricately intertwined in the Egyptian pantheon. Anubis is generally considered the son of Set. Anubis is the god of the afterlife, while Set is the god of chaos, disorder, storms, and warfare. And one could argue that the Wheel of Fortune is all about this chaotic life. At its core, the wheel represents the old adage, sometimes when you're up, sometimes you're down. You know, think Chutes and Ladders. The universe runs on chaos, and the Wheel of Fortune embodies the sudden shifts and changes that occur in our life that are completely out of our control. With Set also being the god of storms, you can easily make a connection between the sudden change the Wheel of Fortune brings and the sudden occurrence of storms that wreak complete havoc. You could say that there is a balanced structure that exists within chaos. Just as change is the one constant in the world, there is order within the disorder. If you are currently on the chaotic side of the turn of the wheel, take heart. Divine order tells us you'll be back on the calm side before too long. So that's like, you know, the clouds. They part eventually, the sun shines. We had an entire week there where it was just raining constantly, gray skies, cloudy days every single day, and then one day the sun shined. And that one day is when you have to cut the grass because you don't know when you're going to have the chance again. Okay, snake is next. The snake is right there. And it says renewal, rebirth, earthly realm, evil and immortality. The snake here is representative of Typhon, the son of the Greek gods Gaia and Tartius, earth and the netherworld. Typhon was considered monstrous and evil and symbolizes the downward descent from our divine spiritual form to our more carnal, earthly form. I also believe the symbolic meanings of renewal and rebirth apply here as well. The beauty of the wheel is that there is always turning, so while the snake may symbolize descent, it also symbolizes the opportunity to shed your skin, all that no longer serves you, and emerge renewed as the wheel brings you upward towards spiritual alignment once more. Sphinx. The Sphinx is right there. And it says mysteries, sacred wisdom, divinity, riddles, guardianship, duality, noble, threshold. The Sphinx is a complex and mysterious symbol. In the simplest terms, the Sphinx, in the Wheel of Fortune represents the mystery that lies in the unknowns of what will come next on your path as the wheel turns. It is also that what wisdom you might gain from progressing through multiple revelations of the wheel. The sword, there's the sword right there, is elements of air, intellect, power, discernment, decisiveness, truth, impartiality, purification, and finality. And the temomorph, which is the angel, eagle, lion, bull. You have all of those right there. There's the eagle, there's the angel, there's the lion, and there's the bull, fixed signs of the zodiac. It's a tetramorph is a composite of 4 symbols that act together to operate as one collective symbol. In this case, the angel, eagle, lion, and bull combine to create a teramorph. In Christian tradition, these 4 are associated with the 4 evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Another interpretation of this grouping associates each symbol with an archangel and astrological sign. Specifically, the 4 fixed signs for those in the know astrologically. They also represent the 4 elements and corresponding 4 suits of the tarot. So taking all that into consideration, we get the follow correspondences for the symbols. Lion is Apostle Mark, Archangel Michael, Leo, elements of fire and suit of wands. The eagle, Apostle John, Archangel Gabriel, Scorpio, element of water and the suit of cups. The bull, going right back to that bull over here, is Apostle Luke, Archangel Uriel, Taurus, elements of earth and suit of pentacles, and angel, or human, Apostle Matthew, Archangel Raphael, Aquarius, elements of air and suit of swords. There's a lot to unpack here, but let's just say the card is deep. I love the Wheel of Fortune. Actually, I have a cool little necklace, and it has that Wheel of Fortune symbol right on it. I'm Sagittarius, and I said when I began, the Wheel of Fortune is connected to Sagittarius. So all of that knowledge, like Sagittarians, personally, I don't know, you might have this too. If you're a Sagittarius, you might have it even if you're not. You have it somewhere in your birth chart probably. But that desire to learn, that desire to, learn and embrace everything that's out there, ingest it, to taste it. It's just, yes. You could go on and on and on about the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, we have a little bit more. See, a lot more, because it's a major arcana. The wheel. The wheel is, it's the wheel, so it's the most important part of the card, right? Cycles, movement, revolution, progress. The wheel is the headlining star of this card, and it's the core of its meaning. The cyclical movement of the wheel is an allegory for our lives. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. Yes, this is why we play Chutes and Ladders as children. Sometimes we're on top, riding high, enjoying life's joyful events. Sometimes we're on the bottom, experience the tougher stuff life has to offer. One thing holds true: the wheel never stops moving. The wheel is emblazoned with a series of letters and symbols found on the inner part of the wheel, and are the alchemical symbols Mercury, sulfur, water, and salt. So Mercury is this one right here. Sulfur is this one right here. Water is this one. And salt is this one. So we have that information. I didn't know that. So now I knew Mercury, but I didn't know the rest of them. Where was I? Corresponding to the 4 elements of air, fire, water, and earth. The 4 Hebrew letters at the end of the spokes combine to form the Hebrew name for God. Yod-Heh. Yod-Heh Vah-Heh. Yes, you know me by now. I cannot pronounce anything to save my life. So if I just caught a spirit or something, go me, but I don't think I pronounced it correctly. But I love the fact that they actually tell us what those are. And then it says last we have the letters tarot. And you have those on there as well, which just so happens to be the same letters inscribed on the scroll of the High Priestess. To recap the various anagrams of these 4 letters. Torah is the Hebrew word for direction and instruction. Rota is Latin for wheel. Tarot is shortened form of tarot, and O-R-A-T has Latin origins to meaning to speak or teach. And Ator, A-T-O-R, can be seen as a simplified pronunciation of Hathor, which is the Egyptian goddess of love and fertility. Putting it all together, the phrase Rota Torah or at Torah Ador translates to the wheel of tarot speaks the law of Hathor. Another way to express this would be the cycle of tarot teaches the law of love. And if we want to bend it a step further, the wheel of tarot teaches that love is the law. It wouldn't be a huge leap here to see the Wheel of Fortune card as a big fat clue to the nature of tarot as a whole and the overarching wisdom that lies in the cards. I'm so glad the Wheel of Fortune came up here, aren't you? The wings are up here. And they say, though the wings of this card are primarily of the tarot or symbol, there is another layer to this symbol that applies to this card. The Roman goddess Fortuna was often depicted with wings. She is the goddess of luck, chance, and fate. The firstborn child of Jupiter, she was an extremely popular goddess in ancient times during the Middle Ages, long before the Rider-Waite-Smith. She was often depicted in paintings with, you guessed it, a rotating wheel of fortune. She was originally a farming goddess associated with prosperity and abundance, and her symbols included a cornucopia. While she definitely reinforces the concept of chance and the randomness of events in our lives, I believe her first incarnation brings up the idea of reap what you sow. In other words, it's all just up to fate. Is it all just up to fate or chance, or are the events in our lives at least partially a product of the effort we put in and what we choose to cultivate? Quick Takes says change is inevitable, luck is on your side, create your own luck. Indicates a life-changing chance meeting, an exciting new opportunity. What goes around comes around. Check your attitude towards change, surrender control, embrace what comes next. Winning game of chance, and this too shall pass. Reversed as mood swings, the start of a difficult time, unexpected change in circumstances. Yes. Like such a fantastic card, this deck. Look how much information is here, and I'm just reading you what the guidebook shares. Yes. Okay, Page of Cups is our next card. We got to get to that in the book. Wands is the first one we see in the book. The Cups is the next suit. Swords would be the next, because we've already learned that the Pentacles is the one at the end. So let's get right there to that Page of Cups. Who doesn't want to seem to like... There we go. Yes. Page of Cups, the key words is creativity, idealism, innocence, curiosity, intuition, sensitivity, surprising insights, good news, repression, lack of confidence, immaturity, and bad news. Astrological is none, and planetary is none. Element is water. Now, personally, I do believe there's an astrological connection here. It's the same with the aces. You know, this is the suit of cups, so it relates to water. So it would relate to all the water signs. So it's not just one of them. It's all of them, all 3 of them. So we have Cancer energy, the cardinal water. We have fixed energy of water, Scorpio. And then we have the Pisces energy, the mutable water, connected to this card. Okay, the cup is the symbols equal the elements of water, emotions, intuition, receptivity, feminine principle. So all but the Wheel of Fortune, because it didn't mention feminine or masculine, but all 3 of these connect the feminine energy. So having compassion as we learn and think things through. Okay. Feather is the first thing we're going to talk about. Where is feather? There's the feather. The feather says freedom, hope, travel, thought, lightheartedness, spiritual evolution, truth. Fans of the 1994 movie Forrest Gump will remember the lovely way of a drifting feather opens and closes the movie. The Page of Cups embodies the same sense of innocence and idealism that Forrest has. Above all, Forrest is a character who strives to be kind and good even in the most painful situations. Similarly, this page's feather reminds us to be our best self no matter where the wind blows. Fish is the next thing we'll talk about right there. And it says elements of water, emotions, feelings, fertility, abundance, state of flow. The fish popping out of the cup represents the surprising insights that sometimes come with this page. It can also represent a creative idea popping into your mind seemingly from out of nowhere, a bit of divine inspiration. Lotus, where is the lotus? There's 3 of them. And 3 is the number of creativity and creation itself, the Empress, this creative energy with those lotuses. It's a spiritual awakening, sacredness, purity, resilience, and beauty. The lotus, not locust, grows in swampy conditions, often emerging from the murkiest waters. The idealistic and creative page has the ability to blossom and create beauty even out of a bad situation. The white color of the lotus also symbolizes the pure heart of the Page of Cups. Up next, we're going to talk about the scarf, and the scarf is right here on the side. As expression, adornment, flow, comfort, and warmth. The blue flowing scarf of the page signifies that your emotions and intuition are flowing freely and easily. Scarves are comforting and warming, representing the happier side of the emotional spectrum. Stage? The stage. That's what that is. Okay, when I did the unboxing video, I didn't read the guidebook, and that's the only card that's come up that had that. I was calling it a window. It's a stage. How cool is that? Okay, fantasy story. In the case of the Page of Cups, I believe the curtain stage represents the page's creative brainstorming process, envisioning different scenarios and putting on mini plays in their mind's eye. I mean, there's a fish jumping out of the cup, for goodness sakes. The page clearly enjoys a touch of the fantastical. Creative ideas are all well and good, but without action in the mix, they will only ever live in the realm of fantasy. I love the way Jennifer writes this book. Everything about this, it's absolutely spectacular. Like this deck, everything that she shared, so much thought has gone into this, and it's incredible. Okay, water. Water is down here. Emotions, life, abundance, movement, ebb and flow, purification, power, depth, intuition, and subconscious. In addition to all the regular water symbolism pertaining to the page's suit, I believe another layer of meaning can be attributed here. All the pages of the tarot are considered to be messengers. I can't help but imagine the powerful waves of the ocean carrying a message in a bottle to a far-off recipient. The practice of sending bottle messages is alleged to have been started by Aristotle's protege, Theophastrus? Sure. Sometime around 310 BCE, when he used bottle messages to study ocean currents. They also have been poetically romanticized by the likes of writers such as Edgar Allan Poe and Nicholas Sparks, linking them to the artsy creativity inherent in the Page of Cups. Okay, what's next? On the next page, we have the quick takes and the reversed. New creative ideas abound, believing that anything is possible. Be open to new opportunities. Explore your creative side. Study your emotions. It's okay to be sensitive. Approach things with a sense of curiosity. Trust your intuition. Revamp your personal style. Good news is coming your way. The reversed, which it's not, says stifled creativity, lack of confidence in your creative ideas, doubting your intuition, emotional immaturity, daydreaming without action, and a bit of bad news. Well, I almost made it through that video without the dog saying hi, but there it was. We actually did finish this, so that's really, really cool. And I cannot recommend this deck enough. If you are looking for that symbolism, if you're looking to add it to your mix and your tarot, if you want it to be inclusive, not showing any people so it can connect to anybody, no matter their color, no matter their gender, no matter their age or anything, to believe in themselves. And this deck is everything. It really is. I'm obsessed with it. The colors, the symbols, everything about it is gorgeous. It is the Tarot Disassembled by Jennifer Cooper Stidley, mass market produced by Wiser Books, Red Wheel Publishing. And if you get the deck, highly, 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 highly recommend this book. Seriously, it is like the most incredible guidebook I've ever seen. So full of information, second only to my heart of the Deviant Moon Tarot, like the Patrick Valencia hardcover book. You have to get separately too. That's so worth it too, because it's like how you learn how he came up with everything and his opinions on stuff. But this deck is everything. And this reading was so empowering, Taurus energy, that is the here and now, what we are experiencing, appreciate all of that stuff, all that good, all the comforts you have in your life, all the things that you worked hard to achieve. Appreciate that. What you want to achieve moving forward, see it in your mind's eye. Those ideas that emotionally fulfill you can lead you to that success. You can't just have that stage in your mind. You have to take that inspiration, take that idea and run with it in order to find that success and wealth this king represents. Celebrate with your friends. Celebrate your creative ideas. Have fun with it. Celebrate all the good in your life. Party, enjoy life. And the ups and downs of life, those are how we can take that wheel, we can spin it, and we can create something new. Absolutely wonderful reading. If you want a personal reading with this deck or any of the ones in my collection, comment on this video, message me on the socials, or book one directly on my website. All of that will be in the link description below. As always, I really want to thank you for watching this deck. Thank you for enjoying this deck with me. It was so much fun, checking out that guidebook. Seriously, guidebook. Awesome. So thick. so full of information. Seriously, Jennifer Cooper Stidley, you are absolutely incredible. This deck is like nothing that has ever been out, except for when you put it out as the indie deck, because, you know, you put the work in before too. But thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it empowered you and inspired you, you know, to believe in yourself, have fun, enjoy all that life has to offer, because you are the one creating the life that you want. Again, thank you. I hope you enjoyed, and I will put these in the box in front of you. If I can get them in there, you know, when you're trying to do it. Yeah, there we go. Put them in the box. Go in. Yes. As always, I want to thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you were inspired to make the best of your life while you're here. As always, thank you again, and I'll see you again in the next one.